Good morning, this is talkSPORT Breakfast. I'm Jeff Stelling. Ray Parlour is with me. It's 21 minutes past 7 o'clock. Got a heartfelt text here, a really heartfelt text from Scott, who's a Man United fan. It's quite long, so bear with us. He said, I'm sick to death of the continual criticism of the manager who coincidentally was lined up to replace Pep, so it can't be that bad. The fault and finger-pointing should be squarely put at Ineos and the entire ownership structure of the club. They had the mantra of best in class, but are absolute frauds, want to be Harrods, but we are Primark. Who is Jason Wilcox to try and impart wisdom and tactical coaching on Amorim? Wilcox and Barada need to go before the manager. They brought him in knowing he plays a specific way, yet they do not give him the tools to succeed. Start calling out Sir Jim. Failed business, failed cycling team, and failed at Nice. This is United, a different animal. I've now checked out. Thank you, Scott.
Wow.
I can feel the passion and indeed the pain in that.
Olivia's got the ump because you like Primark, don't you?
Yeah. You can't say things like that, Ray. Olivia's a Harrods girl. If ever there was
you
one.
like Primark.
Oh, no, I'm a Primark girl. I am. I am. Primark all day long.
Yeah.
Well done.
Oh, well. Right, hat-trick for Igor Thiago yesterday. What a result that was for Brentford, 4-2 over Everton. I mean, to say they've been the surprise packages this season, Ray, is the understatement.
Unbelievable.
If they maintain it, I mean, they're just off the Champions League places at the moment.
It's great to see, though. That's what you want to see in football, don't you? Not a lot of managers do get the opportunity, and Keith Andrews, he'd always say, I got a little bit of luck, maybe. Thomas Frank going to Spurs, and they was looking around at managers, but they've seen enough in me to give me an opportunity. Yeah. And you ask any, especially British guys, and they don't get a lot of opportunities these days in management. So to get an opportunity like he got, he's got good people around him. The players respect him. The players are obviously he's putting good sessions on in training. Obviously, the players know exactly what their jobs are, and they're going in delivering. That's the hardest bit, is going on a weekend and playing like you do all week in training, and that's what they're doing, and that's why they're getting results.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's great to see. It's great to see.
It is great to see it, and they've done it having sold Mbumo, Visser, and Norgard. It's astonishing.
And lost their manager, really.
Yeah.
He was doing a great job before he left.
He was. Right, you heard Olivia a moment or two ago, because it's time for this.
Chelsea, 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 Chelsea. We're gonna make this a blue day. Chelsea, Chelsea.
Yes, celebrity Chelsea fan Olivia Buzaglo is back with us. So
Primark.
what are we talking about,
Primark's,
Olivia?
Yeah, Primark's Chelsea fan, Olivia Buzaglo. I just want to take a look back at the game at the Etihad. When Ray came in this morning, he said thank you. I think Arsenal fans all over the country are thanking Enzo Fernandez for that goal. The second half performance I thought was particularly impressive.
Yeah.
Given what happened in the first half, for the interim manager Callum McFarlane to come in and make the changes that he did, were clearly worked. Andre Santos coming on, Enzo Fernandez moving further up the pitch. I was a little bit disappointed with City. Not disappointed, obviously, but I just thought the game was there for the taking for them. Reece James.
Yeah, very good.
You did speak about him, I know, a little bit earlier on. I think
some really good tackles and blocks, and they really put their neck on the line, really, at times, Chelsea.
Yeah.
And they showed desire to stay in the game. Look, Man City in the first half, they could have been out of sight.
Yeah, should have been as well.
It could have been out of sight, and the game was over. But Chelsea stayed in the game, and in the second half they really improved, I thought.
What are your thoughts then on Liam Rosenior, who's clearly coming in? I mean, it's as clear as the hand at the end of my wrist. That's
Yeah, I think Chelsea fans are quite torn in this sense, because I think a lot of Chelsea fans don't necessarily agree with the way that the club is being run. But I think the Enzo Fernandez goal at the end of that game yesterday, you sort of just forget everything else and you're just celebrating a Chelsea player scoring an equaliser at the Etihad. And Chelsea fans have no option but to back the manager. Liam Rosenior is coming in. You're looking at the managers that Chelsea have had, Tuchel, Potter, Poch and Maresca under this ownership. And for whatever reason, none of them have worked.
You don't always have to have a big name. Look, we just mentioned Keith Andrews. And I've spoke to Liam quite a few times when we was doing a couple of shows. I tell you what, he's got good knowledge.
Yeah.
He's a very good coach. Look, it's a different sort of kettle of fish with Chelsea, because there's a lot of egos, a lot of bigger players, and it's probably a harder dressing room to run because there is a lot of big players in that dressing room. But if you can get the best out of the players, then you've got to give him an opportunity and get behind him.
Yeah, and I think the Chelsea fans will get behind him. I don't think that'll be a problem. I think the issues they have don't come with the manager. The issues they have come with people higher up, the sporting directors and things like that. I think Chelsea fans have to...
They weren't saying this when they were winning the Club World Cup.
No, they were. They were.
Well, our texts weren't. Everybody was saying, everyone was giving it, you know.
But that was Maresca. Everyone was giving credit to Maresca for the job that he did with that team in the Club
Those of us who tried to point out that the Club World Cup actually was no great deal because until the final, you know, nobody was trying that hard.
Yeah, but I mean, what Chelsea did in that final was particularly impressive, and I think Enzo Maresca deserved the credit he received for that. However, that on the pitch was great, but Chelsea fans still had their issues with the sporting directors and some of the decisions that have been made, which I think is understandable. I just think you have to understand that this Chelsea now is not the Chelsea under Roman Abramovich. Roman Abramovich's ideology was win at all costs. He brought in the best managers, he brought in the best players. That is not where Chelsea are at right now. We have to understand it's a different Chelsea. Their ideology, it feels like, is being run more as a business, buying young players, hopefully selling them on for a profit. Yeah. That's what it feels like. And I think Chelsea fans have to come to terms with that is how the club is going to be run. We're never going to go back to the Chelsea we were before.
Well, Liam Rosenior's speciality is dealing with young players.
Yeah. And Chelsea have got, you know, I know Jamie Carragher did come out and say it's not an exciting young team. I think it is an exciting young team. I think there are young, exciting players within that squad. And I think that the fight, the spirit, the character was there to see against City. That hasn't gone.
Well, you had your best player out. Look,
we had
Palmer,
we had Caicedo, Sanchez, Cucurella. They're three players that have played pretty much every single game for Chelsea this season. And Caicedo and Cucurella, two of the most experienced. I know Caicedo's young, but he's been around for a while. So I think with all things considered, in the context of the 72 hours that Chelsea have had, to come out of that game in the manner in which they did was particularly impressive. But I think now that Liam's come in, or is going to come in, I think there's no choice but to back him. And the club are going for young, inexperienced managers. They did it after Tuchel, and that's the way they're going, and Chelsea fans have to accept it. And they will get behind him. There's just not a lot that Chelsea fans can do in this situation to do with the ownership. What can they do? That protest, not go to games? It wouldn't hurt the club. No. It's hard. It's a real difficult...
I'm sorry, I've got a message here. From Ben, who's a Tranmere fan. He says, as a Tranmere fan speaking to a Hartlepool fan, surely you too have to shake your head in disbelief at some Celtic, Spurs, Manchester United and Chelsea fans. So a few results aren't going your way. Big deal. Football owes you nothing. Suck it up, buttercups. Ben, brilliant. I love it.
Anyway, I'm going to continue. But no, I'm not moaning. Listen, if Liam comes in, I'll get on board with that 100%. Do you think, though, you know, this whole yes man question has been thrown about, and I think Enzo Maresca and Mauricio Pochettino are the two managers specifically that it seems like have had the same issues working with the hierarchy, and whether Poch walked away, Maresca walked away, whatever happened, they both left.
It's a similar sort of thing as Manchester United, isn't it? Very similar. Because other managers have been at Man United and it's not worked, has it? Some really big names at Manchester United, not worked.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the board have got to look at themselves maybe and say, wait, well, we doing it? We running this club right? I don't know. I mean, it's a really tough one to call, but managers always lose their jobs, and Maresca, most Chelsea fans were behind him.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
What, 75%, 80%?
Yeah, I'd say most. I think it's... Most of them were behind him. You know, you're going to have question marks over managers and some decisions they make, etc. But I think largely a lot of Chelsea fans probably didn't want him to go. There was enough excitement or enough there positively to suggest that he could take us forward. And I think, you know, I didn't want him to go for one, but I can't speak for all Chelsea fans. But now it is what it is. They're bringing in another manager, and all Chelsea fans can do now is get behind him. And maybe the fact that Liam has come from Strasbourg and maybe has accepted that he will just be a head coach and he will just be dealing with the players, training and on the pitch, and the hierarchy can then deal with all the off the pitch stuff. Maybe that's the way forward, and that's maybe where Maresca and Poch.
Look, young manager. Let's wish him well. I mean, let's hope it works out.
Yeah, 100%.
What an opportunity.
Yeah, a fantastic opportunity. Thanks, Olivia. One very quick test. Ryan, Sunderland fan says, you mentioned Brentford being the surprise package this season, but they're nothing compared to the mighty Black Cats. Everyone had tipped Sunderland to go down with the lowest points tally in history, but they're sitting in the middle of the top half of the table on the same points as Brentford. You are absolutely right, Ryan. And what a wonderful goal.
What a goal.
What a wonderful goal they scored at Tottenham yesterday.
Brilliant goal.
As well.